is what, and that requires abhyas. It requires effort. It's not going to happen automatically. Okay? So now Arjuna is asking a question. He's heard all these different words, right? And he wants to know what Lord Krishna is saying and how does it relate to all these different words. Okay? So here, let's see Arjuna's question. It says, Arjuna uvacha prakritim purusham chaiva kshetram kshetrajna evacha etat veditum ichhami nanam teyan cha keshava. So here he says, what is Arjuna is asking, because these are all the words. Anybody who has studied a little bit of Indian philosophy, then they have used these words. He asks this because up to now Lord Krishna has not used any of these words. So he now wants to say, but you're telling me all this and these are the words I have heard. So how do you reconcile? Right? What is Purusha and what is Prakriti? Okay, that is the first question. What is Kshetram and what is Kshetrajna? Okay, and what is Nanam and what is Leela? Okay, so now, in fact, in the following verses, Lord Krishna is answering what is Nanam. But before that, because we have studied Vedanta before, let's look at the words, terminology, Prakriti and Purusha. Okay, so what this whole the word
stay. I'm just going to stay 5 minutes. Go ahead.
Yeah, go.
Go ahead.
Just go quietly.
Okay. These two words, Prakriti and Purusha, come from Sankhya philosophy. Okay? Sankhya philosophy. So, there is Prakriti in Vedanta is equivalent to Maya. Okay? And Purusha is equivalent to Brahman. Okay? So now, what is Purusha? Purusha is Brahman. What do we understand by Brahman? Okay. Who am I? According to Vedanta, Ayam Atma is Brahman. This Atma is Brahman. What is Brahman? The very word Brahman means in the sense of big. Any Sanskrit word comes from a root and the meaning of the word, the root is the big. Okay. Now big is not used as an adjective, but it is used as a noun. Okay. So every time I use, generally big is an adjective, right? You say big table, big house, big mountain, big forest, big, So therefore, that bigness that it conveys depends upon what? The noun that it qualifies. Adjective qualifies a noun, so the bigness that it conveys depends upon the noun that it qualifies. So big table will give you a different idea from a big mountain, right? Now here, the word big is used not as an adjective to a noun, but as a noun itself. What does it mean? Big, vast, without any
boundaries.
without any limits or any boundaries. Infinite. Okay. Now that means Atma means I. According to the vision of Vedanta, who do I think I am? This little individual who was just born, what? A few years ago, 50, 60, 70 years ago. Okay. And I'm going to maybe go in next, whatever, 50, 40, 60, whatever years, right? Now, in a countless flow of time, you just come, and in this 100 years or 20, 100 and whatever little life that you have, what is the significance of that life in a countless flow of time? Whether it is 40 years or it is 60 years or it is 100 years where you think that the person has lived a very full life, it is still a dot. Within that dot, right, while you are alive, what is the place that you occupy in this galaxy or in this universe? may not even be able to, even the earth is just a dot.
dot.
So that means if you think about yourself, your total reality as that, who are you? So insignificant. But within that, while you're alive, your life and your life events, they become so big for you. Right? The vision of Upanishad is not to give you some advice on how to cope within this framework. It just has a totally different vision that you are limitless. So how is it that it can get away with a sentence that you are Brahman, limitless? It shows you through logic where is your error. Okay? The body is limited, no doubt about it. No doubt. The mind, which is in the body, is also limited. In the mind, you have 4 faculties. What are the 4 faculties? You have emotions, you have cognitive capacity, you have memories, and you have eye sense. Constantly what? Is constantly changing. Okay? What Upanishad says is, as long as you say, I am, if you put your I in this body, mind, sense complex, the minute you do that, what? You are highly limited. Highly means highly. Okay? But now look at the relationship between body, mind and I. If you, every scientist, every medical person will say body is nothing but cells. Okay? You know very well that are you the cell? Are you the cell? No, you can see the cell under microscope. You're not the cell. If one cell is not you, billions of cells come together and make it into this intelligent body. Does it become I? One non-I is non-I. Hundreds of non-I put together, does it become I? Logically.
This is between I and mind, where the real problem is.
Exactly.
Because you feel it's mine and then you take ownership of it and say that. But
Exactly.
Yeah.
So even body, Radhika, how many complexes we have around the body? I'm fat. That people suffer so much, so much,
sadness.
right?
Yeah.
It's only mine.
It's only mine.
It's not only mine.
Yeah.
In the sense that the body becomes such a center
Yeah.
for people
Yeah.
to have amazing amount of complex. Recently, did you see this program on NDTV? There was this whole big program on NDTV about Indian obsession with white skin.
That is that.
Oh, it was a hilarious program. And they saw like in job interviews, in the marriage, this thing, in so many different scenarios they actually filmed the actual events that were taking place. And then it was just like, what a ridiculous thing, right? So that means these little complexes that we have around the body, they become obsessions. People die because they are not this and they are not, I tell you. So this is why human error that takes it's not just a simple error, I'm as good as the body, but it takes a magnitude which is what? You become totally, all your self-esteem depends upon the color of skin that you have. Okay? So therefore, this is what? Then the second thing is, Radhika says, which is a very, very big thing, which is mind. Okay? So mind, is it something which is known to you? So it is Purusha or it is Prakriti? Purusha is I and Prakriti is what? Not I.
Not
Right? Is mind, is it falling with as Purusha or it is Prakriti?
Mind is Prakriti because
It is
will
Prakriti.
die.
Because if, now logically see that, okay, if you, what is mind? Mind is nothing but thoughts. Okay? Now if you were the thought, then When thought comes, you are born. And when the thought goes, you are gone. Is it true? Not at all. A thought goes and you survive every thought that you have thought of. Okay. That logically, it is not possible that you are thoughts. You survive the thoughts to know right now one thought has come, then next minute the thought has gone. Then another thought has come and another thought goes. Okay. People think that you are silence in between the thoughts. Is it true? No.
Because when the silence
Because when the silence goes,
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
very much there
Yeah.
to observe the
Silence.
going of the silence
Yeah.
and the next thought coming. Okay, so that's why Upanishads say that you are that invariable presence because of which what the coming and going thoughts are known to you. Okay, that is defined as Chit. Chit is awareness. Awareness or consciousness. Okay. Then you may think that that awareness is something which is particular to you, and your awareness is different, and my awareness is different, and your awareness is different. So Upanishads give another logic to show how this Atma is limitless. Okay. It says it is Satyam, Jnanam, Anantam, Brahma. Jnanam is awareness, consciousness. And that consciousness is, and that consciousness has no boundaries. Okay? Why would you say that the consciousness has no boundaries? How can I establish that your awareness is not, is not different from my awareness?
because
Now you've confounded us. We know the answer. We
Yeah,
know
I
how to say
know.
it.
Someone.
I need a pot.
Okay, so explain through pot.
Yeah, but how do you know? That is what I can't answer. How do you know that? How do
Yeah.
I know that mine is the same as yours?
Yes.
I don't know how to answer that. I understand it.
Because
Yeah.
is it because what you explained about it's everything is awareness, and that you exist in that awareness, like you showed us all those different shapes. So
Yeah.
so we are all those different shapes, but the awareness is the same, and we all exist in it, and therefore it is the same awareness that we are all are.
Exactly. See, one thing is, in order for me to say my awareness is different from your awareness, I have to give some attribute to my awareness which would distinguish it from your awareness, right? All the attributes belong where?
In our body.
In the body. Your body is different from mine, true. Your mind is different from mine, true. Okay, so that's why I can say there are two, because your mind has these attributes, my mind has that attribute. Okay, but once I have freed awareness from the characteristic of mind and body, in order for me to establish that my awareness is different from your awareness, I have to give some attribute to my awareness which is different from your awareness.
But how do I know?
So that is. So this is where
You don't have
the
something else.
Upanishads
Ah.
say. So that means anything, the attributes belong to things that you objectify.
Yeah.
And the objectification.
Can't be objective.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Right.
The answer is there.
So, yeah. The awareness
Yeah.
because of
Yeah.
which you objectify doesn't take on the attributes of what it objectifies.
So it cannot happen.
So it cannot
logically
have,
it cannot.
logically
happen.
it cannot have any attributes.
That's right.
So therefore, attribute-free awareness is one limitless. Okay? In order to facilitate that, we give this space example, which everybody I think knows. I don't need to show it again. Okay? So therefore, what is Purusha is what this I, which is limitless, which is Brahman. What is Prakriti?
Prakriti is
Prakriti is the rest of the universe. right? Awareness is distinct from what? All the objects of awareness. What is object of awareness? What is included in object of awareness?
Ishvara and
What is an object? So I am awareness, and everything that I objectify is what we call not Purusha, but it is Prakriti. So what is it that I objectify? Everything, right? It includes what? Time, space, and every object within time and space. Okay? Every object means it includes galaxies, it includes sun, moon, stars, planets, earth, trees, chairs, human beings, animals, fish, birds, aquatic creatures, mammals, reptiles, in bacteria, everything is what we call object of awareness. Okay, awareness and object of awareness. Awareness is Purusha and object of awareness is Prakriti.
But then they become two distinct things.
Very, very good, Vandana. Okay, now this is where Sankhya philosophy and Vedanta differ. Okay, because according to Sankhya philosophy, there are two things. One is Purusha and the other one is Prakriti. Okay, and what for them, this body, where does it belong? Prakriti, right? So for them also there is an error, because what is the nature of problem that we have ignorance. This which belongs to Prakriti, we have taken it as attributes of Purusha, right? Because I think I am as good as the body, as good as the mind. So this is the attribute of Prakriti which I have imputed on Purusha. So it seems very similar to Vedanta, because Vedanta says the same. Awareness does not have the attributes of body and mind, but we have taken it as the attributes of I. Okay. Now, where do we differ from Sankhya philosophy? According to Sankhya philosophy, this Prakriti and Purusha are two things, two different things. Prakriti is object of awareness, which is all these different things, and Purusha is what? Awareness. Okay. What Vedanta says is this object of awareness, you look. Does it have an independent reality? This is where we introduced the terms called what? Satyam and Mithya. Okay. Satyam is defined as that which has independent existence, and Mithya is defined as that which has a dependent existence. Okay. So therefore, now when I look at the object of awareness, which includes everything, so you take one thing, any one thing you take. You take one thing. What? Chair. The chair. Okay. Now this chair, we think it is a reality. Now what we saw is, let's say that there is wooden chair. If this is wooden chair, then is chair Satyam or Mithya? Mithya, right? We are not denying the existence of chair. We are not saying it's an illusion. We are not saying it is imaginary. It is there. Okay, but you take out wood and you find me an object called chair. Will you find? No. So therefore, this chair has a dependent reality. So therefore, in this object, are there two things? Chair and wood? No. It's it seems like two, but it's actually only one, because one entirely depends upon the other. Right? Now, wood itself, is it independently existing or it depends upon something? It depends upon something. what does it depend upon?
Molecules of the bark
Molecule.
and tree and whatever.
Exactly, right? So therefore, that wood itself entirely depends upon the tree.
Yeah,
Okay? And the tree itself depends upon what?
the seed.
The seed. It's amazing. Okay? So therefore, it just depends upon the cells, and then the cells, atoms, particles, the whole thing is wherever, please understand, wherever there is chair, that's exactly where there is wood. Wherever there is wood, that's exactly where what?
It's tree.
Yeah, this is tree, this
Yeah,
is dead
that's
tree,
right. Yeah.
right? Then that's exactly where what the atoms are. That's exactly where the molecules are, the particles. Okay, and ultimately we cannot what? Then it depends upon something else. Then it depends upon something else. Then it depends upon something else. Finally, even a quantum physicist will say, beyond particle, there is no real tangible object anymore. They are just concepts. It's all abstract. It's just concept. Okay. So this is why we say, now you take not chair, you take sun. Same. Atoms, particles, concept. You take moon. You take planet. You take human body. You
Can I
take,
ask you one question
Yes.
here, which I'm not understanding.
yes,
I'm looking at the sun. So I am objectifying the sun and I'm awareness. Sun doesn't have the awareness. Sun would be Maya to me. Part of my creating it or my awareness or imagination. So it would be two separate things. I'm just saying.
Mhm.
Or it would be two separate things.
okay. So
So-
in order to understand this given thing, that you think that the sun does not have awareness,
Yeah.
but you do,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So now this is where we give the example of your dream.
So it's Maya. No.
So in your dream,
Hmm.
right, awareness, your awareness is everywhere.
Yes.
In the dream time, your awareness is there.
Yeah.
In the dream space, your awareness is there.
Yeah.
In the dream mountains,
Hmm.
your awareness is there,
Hmm.
right? In the dream characters,
Yeah.
there are your
Yeah.
awareness is there.
Yeah.
Your awareness is there equally everywhere.
Yeah.
Okay. Some things are animate, some are inanimate.
Inanimate. Yeah.
Okay. So therefore, some are sentient, some seem insentient, but awareness is everywhere. What is the difference is, right? Some things are sentient, like I can talk where the table cannot talk.
Hmm.
So what is our conclusion is that awareness is here, but awareness is not there,
I can understand that.
right?
Yeah.
But what we are saying is everything has awareness. Then why table cannot talk and I can talk?
Hmm.
That is because table does not have Sukshma Sharira. So we saw that in this body there is not only physical Sthula Sharira, there is Sukshma Sharira.
Hmm.
Okay?
Exactly.
So Sukshma Sharira enables it to talk,
Yeah.
to breathe, to live, to do whatever. So this
We
is
believe
why,
every intangible thing is Ishvara. And Ishvara is dependent on consciousness.
Exactly.
So then everything
Yes.
has to have
yes,
that.
yes, exactly. So therefore, even if you, that is also right way of explaining it. Absolutely, that's a right way of explaining. Because ultimately, if it is concept,
Hmm.
whether it is living being
Hmm.
or it is non-living being, okay, ultimately, in fact, both are nothing but atoms and particles, whether
Yeah.
it is a living being or a non-living being. Okay? Then it is all just these atoms and particles, they don't have.
Yeah.
So therefore, that concept and awareness, what is the relationship?
Yeah.
So the concept cannot exist without awareness.
Exactly.
Whereas awareness is independent of concept.
Yes. But this to me is the concept.
So this is concept, this is equally a concept, because this also
cells are also
reduces into after.
Absolutely. Absolutely correct.
Yes.
But the I,
Hmm.
the I is, which is objectifying this concept also, is there. I don't see the I there which can objectify the table.
Yeah, so that means there is no Sukshma Sharira there. Okay?
Yeah, so-
that means what you are saying is right now, the way the consciousness is available to you is not as an object. You can't objectify consciousness. It is available to you
Yeah.
in your mind,
Exactly.
right? Which
Yeah.
is able to observe your
Observe
mind,
it. That's
right?
it. That's
But
it.
because of that particular positioning, you conclude that you are as good as the mind. Now, what Vedanta says is, it is given to you as though confined in specific relationship with
Yeah.
one mind, but it is free.
It is free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it is like same, right now space is available to this cup through this confinement,
Yeah.
okay? But actually the space
Is free.
is free.
I've understood that.
Yes.
But I don't
Yes.
understand the concept where, like she said, it's two different things.
Hmm.
Because to me, the awareness is limitless, no attribute, it's not, I understand all that.
Hmm.
But I don't know whether this is, okay, I'll put it like this. Let's say all four of us sitting here are the same
Yes.
awareness.
Hmm.
And the concept is in our it's a Maya. It's not an awareness in that. That's where I'm getting confused.
Okay, so now when I say concept, you think that it is concept that exists in the mind.
Yeah, a Maya.
Yeah.
Which is an illusion.
So there
Yeah.
it is, there we, as she says, that ultimately that consciousness has the capacity to project the whole
Yes.
universe.
Yes,
Okay?
yes.
So that is what we call, from that awareness, there is this thing which is what we call Maya.
Yeah.
Okay, Maya
Right.
is a projecting
Projecting
capacity
capacity.
where this consciousness, without undergoing any change,
Yes.
manifests as
Yes.
the whole universe.
That, yeah.
Okay. Now, in that universe, there are so many different things. Things are sentient,
Yeah.
things are insentient. What accounts for sentient things is presence of subtle body. What accounts for insentient thing is absence of subtle body.
So you're saying because it's projecting from here, that also has the awareness.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. So the whole thing is
The whole thing
carries
is
whatever you have, sentient or
insentient.
is,
Projection of
is
the
got awareness in
it has got awareness.
Yeah.
So
And
the
Sankhya
thing
says
is
it doesn't have.
It does. Sankhya
Sankhya
says,
is what? Where is Sankhya philosophy? What
Sankhya
is that? I don't
philosophy, if you are a scholar and if you want to study Indian philosophy, then they call Shad Darshan. Shad Darshan means there are 6 schools of thought. Okay, one is Vaisheshika, one is Nayayika, Sankhya, Yoga, Purva Mimamsa, and Uttara Mimamsa. This is what you will study.
Oh.
So this is what, in fact, we study. We little bit study all of that.
Oh.
Yeah. So therefore, this is where, in fact, this is the whole tradition of India, that Sankhya is looking into Vedas and Vedanta is also, the Uttar Mimamsaka is also looking into Veda. Sankhya is concluding that yes, there is an error. Purusha has taken oneself to be the guna of Prakriti, and you need to remove that ignorance. But for them, Prakriti and Purusha are two separate things. Whereas for us, there is only one, the other one has a dependent reality. It all resolves. So that means Prakriti is not independent of Purusha, but Purusha is independent of Prakriti.
So Prakriti is a projection.
Prakriti is exactly.
Exactly.
So in that projection, then you see many.
Yeah. Then you see
And many has so many,
There are
right?
many.
Sentient and insentient.
Now one would you explain it. What do the other schools of thought, like say another one says?
Yeah. So in fact, for that you have to come to Brahma Sutra, because the whole analysis is, it substantiates in that Brahma Sutra. Adi Shankaracharya first says what Vedanta says, then it looks at all the other contentions, and he negates them, shows
So
logical
those don't say the
fallacies.
same thing Vedanta says also.
So they look at the Veda, but they say something else.
Yes.
They interpret it differently.
Yeah.
They interpret
Such a
it.
difficult thing to
So
interpret.
that's
It's
what-
very, it's so difficult.
So therefore, so this is why when Adi Shankaracharya tells you now this is mithya, what is your argument against that, right? How can you conclude that there are two separate things? So this is how he negates. He first tells what Vedanta says, then he looks at all the different schools of thought, including Buddhism is also an opponent. Okay, and he negates it all. Okay, and then he reaffirms or reiterates that how what he says is really what
What Vedanta.
Vedanta says. So that is the whole methodology. And therefore, what this whole teaching tradition is, that a contemporary teacher, right, not only looks at these six, we know all the
You
six,
know all
it's
the
all
six.
there in our mind,
Yeah.
right? So we bring out what is necessary at whatever
Yeah.
point in time to
Yeah.
show you something,
Yeah.
right? Now, I not only have to look at those, I also need to look at latest discovery in quantum physics,
Yeah.
neurosciences,
Yeah.
psychology,
Yeah.
and I need to reconcile Vedanta with that. This is what we call a traditional teacher, where you need to take out the knowledge is constantly what
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
are understanding new things, but nothing contradicts what Vedanta says. So we have to use it. This is where our creativity is, and our whole teaching
Yeah.
tradition, the wealth of knowledge that we have studied. So we have to use it all to present Vedanta, and we have to do justice to it. We can't just talk just here and there and say whatever comes to my mind. No. Years and years and years of looking into things, reflecting on things. And that whole teaching tradition, Indian philosophy, is highly sophisticated.
You can't label anything that this is good, this
But the other like Samkhya, should see the
Yeah.
truth. Why are they not
Exactly.
able to see
They are
the
not
logic?
able to, and this is where actually Adi Shankaracharya held debates, and he
Yeah.
defeated all of them.
Then this
Years
thing-
ago, one movie had come.
There
was a movie on Adi Shankar.
Adi
Yeah.
Shankaracharya.
Yeah, and in
Yeah.
that they
Mandana
showed
Mishra.
Mandan Mishra
Mishra,
and the
yeah.
Arvanot fellow.
Yeah. Many of them,
Yeah.
they held debates, big scholars,
Yeah.
and they.
After
that
that, I
movie.
cannot come around.
So therefore now that's why where do you see other?
No, I've
you
never
don't
heard of
see.
it. Even
Have you seen anybody teaching Nyaya?
I didn't know
Vaisheshika?
that. I didn't know what was
Exactly.
saying. Only
Right.
Samkhya about it.
Sankhya you've heard
Heard
of.
of.
And yoga is very popular.
Yoga.
But which part of yoga is popular?
Buddhism is very popular.
Yeah, Buddhism is
Buddhism
popular.
is very
But from India, Buddhism
went to-
It's gone,
went-
yes,
it went
because
to
that's right.
because
Completely.
all
Now
the
I
scholars
understand
were
why.
defeated.
Because he
First I
completely,
thought
he
it was
completely
the, the
defeated.
kings killing
No,
them,
no,
but
no,
now
not at
I
all.
understand.
Now
He
you
got
understand.
he
defeated.
defeated the philosophy.
Yes, he defeated it. That is
So, so this is what we call Purusha and Prakriti. Okay. Then Kshetra and Kshetrajna is another same thing.
Where-
Kshetra
yeah, just
is the field.
Sitting
I
on
can about 15-20 minutes. I'll quietly go upstairs.
Now I will
For
also
dinner.
stop. It's 7:15 already.
No, 5 to 7. 7
Or 5 to 7.
7:15.
Have something in
7:15
But
dinner.
it chai uthana.
So I will stop at 7:15. Let's talk now. Kshetra, Kshetrajna is very easy.
Okay, then let's do. I'd love to
Let's do. Now let's finish
I want to
this.
keep it.
Okay. So Kshetra and Kshetrajna. Kshetra is the field, and Kshetrajna is what? Knower of the field.
Yeah.
Right?
What is known of?
Knower
Knower
of
of
the
the field.
knower of the field.
Of the
Okay?
field.
Field
Field.
means how do you say? Kshetra. Kshetra is right. Now here again, what this is Kshetra or Kshetrajna? The body is Kshetra or Kshetrajna? The body is Kshetra.
Kshetra.
And
Which is
now
the field?
what?
Your mind
Which
will
is
be
the,
the,
the mind is also
No, Kshetra.
knower, is also Kshetra.
to the
And
knower is
The knower is
Knower
the
is
Brahma.
exact. Kshetra,
Yeah.
Kshetrajna
Yeah.
is Brahma.
Brahma.
Right? So this is where it's constantly now same. Purusha is Kshetrajna and Prakriti is Kshetra. Right? Field. And field is dependent upon that one reality. Okay? Now, then the third thing is Jnanam and Neyam. Okay? Neyam is to be known and Jnanam is means of knowledge.
Means of
Knowledge. Right? So now here, what is to be known? What is to be known is Brahman.
Brahma.
Right? I am Atma Brahman. And there we must understand it's not only a philosophical inquiry, it is also a spiritual inquiry. What does it mean? That not only I re-understand who I am, but what I also change the way I interact with the world. So that means, otherwise a scientist can be very brilliant in understanding the reality, but emotionally it can be,
Retarded.
yeah,
Absolutely.
absolutely, most of them are. In fact, I
They're all
saw
crazy.
this
Yeah, so
play,
many retarded.
I saw this play called Einstein, and he, within this play,
Nasuddin.
Nasuddin, and he says that when my wife was dying in the next room, he says, I didn't have time because I was totally caught in my whole inquiry into the whole thing, right? So that means that he actually then is regretting the fact that, my God, I've been so obsessed with all my research and everything that I have not done some of the simplest things that I should have done, right? So this is where we are not, it's not only a philosophical pursuit, it's a spiritual pursuit, where if I understand my reality differently, I have to feel and think and behave differently. Right? I can't just use it as something that I intellectually understand in Vedanta class, and now next minute I continue to be the same human being. Right? So this is where it's a spiritual pursuit. So what is Jnayam, what is to be known, is what? I am Brahman, but for that cultivating and changing and reorientation is a huge part of learning. This is why it makes it spiritual, not just
That's why
philosophical.
he ties it to yoga in the previous one. He said you need to do
That you need to. So
So
therefore,
Dana would be
what
Vedanta
is
would be
Jnana?
the means of
So
knowledge.
the means of knowledge is Vedanta, but here Lord Krishna replies, Jnanam is all the values that you must have in order to know the Jnayam. Jnayam is to be known. To be known is your Brahman. Okay? And Jnanam is all the values that are necessary for you to know that reality. So what are those values? They are beautiful values that we will see next time. Just amanitvam, adambitvam, ahimsa, kshanti, arjavam. Okay, so these are the beautiful values that one needs to cultivate. So we will see what those are and how they apply.
It says non-violence. Huh?
Sorry, yeah, one of them is
I'm just thinking
non-violence.
of
But
non-vegetarian. That's what I thought of immediately.
But the Vedantis were not, they were all non-vegetarian, they were living in the
Yeah,
forest and they were all
Vedic
eating
times,
everything.
Vedic times of
Vedic
all.
times.
Yeah.
So anyway, we will see all these
And
values.
their whole
because-
morality was so different. Not like ban the beef and ban the this nonsense.
Yeah, so we will see what these values are.
Because they didn't
Okay.
project anything. They were just living in the
Yeah, I mean,
knowledge.
therefore,
and-
Getting an animal and eating it.
Yeah.
You killed only to eat or to survive. You never did it.
I mean, if you were
Preserve it or
nomads,
burrow
if you were
and keep
nomads,
it.
you had to cultivate anything.
Nonsense.
If you were nomadic, you had to shoot and kill and eat.
So we will see the values. They are beautiful values. We will talk about it. Recently, we were invited at a wedding, and they were like they wanted us to give a talk
You
on
talked at
harmony
that
and we were
wedding?
like, yeah.
You did?
it
The
was
wedding or
at
the
the wedding?
wedding?
At the time of the
Yeah.
wedding, during the
And then,
ceremony.
no, after the ceremony. There was the
Oh,
next day there was brunch and somebody invited us. It was huge. I mean, there was
Same
like,
HPS.
yeah. Harvard Business School.
How
Yeah,
she's
invited
getting
me.
married.
Yeah, she was getting
Oh, how
married.
nice.
She's-
Yeah.
Rehne do.
I just went.
What a
Alibag.
lovely thing to do.
How
Yeah,
many
I
people
know.
were there?
300, all from all around the world.
Yeah.
It was lovely.
And you gave her 1 hour,
People
like you do it
just
so
loved it.
beautifully.
1 hour.
People loved it.
You edit it so beautifully. It's a
That's
nutshell.
a lovely idea.
I know.
She was saying that at somebody after talk.
So what you spoke?
So I'll stop. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om